Hello and welcome back to the CarveCast podcast. This is episode 31. I am Adam, your host for this podcast. And yeah, I'm back from skiing. It has been just one of the most absolute carnage seasons ever. So much has gone on. I've been busy with work, busy with family life, busy with skiing, which is obviously the best part. But yeah, the uploads have not been as consistent or regular as I would like them to be, and I am working on that. So many of you have reached out and said, when's the new podcast? When's the new podcast? Which I'm hugely grateful for, so thank you very much for that. So here it is. So what has been happening? This podcast should go out sometime in March, I think. So not sure exactly when, but sometime in March. And up to that date, there has been a huge amount of skiing. So I think in the previous episodes, we had Tim, the boot fitter from Ulen Sport in Zermatt. We also had the guys from Tippy Travels who travel around in their camper van with their kids going skiing, which I loved that episode. Hopefully we get them back on at some point. And in fact, if anyone's got any guests that would like to come on, or maybe you would like to come on, just drop me a message on social media and hopefully we can arrange that. But for this episode, it's really just to catch up about what I've been doing, what I'm going to be doing, maybe even a little insight into the plans for next season, maybe even some summer skiing, who knows. But where have I been? What have I been doing? So the last skiing podcast that I did that was related to my skiing, I think was covering off my Christmas, New Year's skiing with my family. I was away for a few weeks. We did Italy, we did New Year's in Verbier, we did Zermatt, we did a whole bunch of different resorts. We went to Val d'Isère, we went to Les Arts, we went to Saint Foy. That was a trip in itself, and obviously you can go back to that episode and check that one out for that sort of historical trip, which was absolutely incredible. Had an amazing trip obviously through November and December as well, through Zermatt and Saas-Fee and Chamonix and all of that. But the most recent trips that I have been on have been sensational. Now, at some point in February, I think it was, my friend Sarah let me use her chalet in a place called Les Collons, which is in Switzerland, but is part of the Thyon ski resort, which is part of the Four Valleys ski area. And I spent a good week there going around doing the entire Four Valleys, Nendaz, Verbier, Les Collons, Thyon, loads and loads of them. Skied some incredible runs as well, some incredible yellow runs like Torsin and various other ones in the Verbier ski area and the Four Valleys ski area. And that chalet, actually, you can rent. It's a 5-bedroom chalet. It is sensational. It is just ridiculous, that chalet. So if anyone wants to hire that, I will put links in the show notes below or the video description, whatever it may be that you're following on. In fact, don't forget, if you're listening to this on the podcast app or Spotify, you can actually watch this on YouTube as well. So check that out if you would like to. And in fact, the views have been going through the roof on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. So I'm quite happy with how everything's going on that. But yeah, spent that week in the Four Valleys, and while I was there, it's only actually an hour's drive from the chalet to Zermatt. So I also popped over to Zermatt for a couple of days, skied with the guys from PDS, Simon and Jason, had a great time over there. Really, really fantastic time. And in fact, recorded some videos with Tim from Ulen Sport. So yeah, all in all, that week was absolutely incredible. And I thoroughly enjoyed my time in the Four Valleys. What a ski area that is. You know, obviously Verbier is well known for, well, lots of things, but, you know, being a huge ski resort in itself, super vibrant and active, loads and loads of après, loads of just everything you could ever want in Verbier. And people love it mostly, you know, for the off-piste. But I also skied the rest of the Four Valleys as well, and the rest of it is not to be ignored because you've got Nendaz, you've got Thyon, there's lots and lots of other areas as well, like little smaller areas. All of them have their own towns and villages and are their own ski resorts in their own right. But as a collective, the Four Valleys is huge. And I particularly loved the area that I stayed in Chalet Morvan. in Les Collons, which was literally just a minute or two's drive from the Thyon resort. And yeah, just a fantastic place, fantastic resort, fantastic villages, which are part of Les Collons and Thyon, and a different vibe to places like Verbier, which are much, much larger, much more well known. So these areas are much quieter, much cuter, more quaint, you know, kind of just sort of really lovely little ski villages with really quiet, incredible skiing. And I really would recommend those areas to everyone. And doing those trips from Les Collons, which is like on one side of the Four Valleys, all the way over to Verbier on the other side, you're looking at a 2 or 3 hour journey each way. So I love destination skiing. Like, for example, if you're in Three Valleys and you're in St Martin de Belleville and you want to ski to, I don't know, Arel, you know, it's a destination, it's a whole journey, and I love that. I'd much rather do these destination skiing rather than just going around lapping and that kind of stuff. So to me, getting up, starting in Thyon, working through Nendaz and going all the way over to Verbier, having lunch in the W Hotel, stuff like that, and then skiing back in the afternoon, 2 or 3 hours each way, is just incredible. And in fact, on the way back, you can do the Torten runs, which are utility runs, yellow runs, very, very difficult. Some of the hardest runs in the world. And there's other ones as well over in that area. Just incredible skiing, had a great time. In fact, I skied with Sammy from Pulse Snow Sports in Verbier for a day as well and did a lesson with him. That was fantastic. And all of these little videos and clips, they're all on my social media. So if you actually want to sort of drill down and go into particular runs, or my day with Sammy, or my trip to Verbier or Zermatt, or whatever it might be, check that out on my social media because they're all on there. Now, more recently than that, I went on a trip just recently to a couple of resorts. First of all, I went to Zermatt, and Simon and Melly and me and Benji, we did a ridiculous challenge in Zermatt. And I made it up, and the challenge was to try and ski every single inch of every single slope in Zermatt in a weekend. I didn't know if it was remotely possible. I didn't do any calculations. I had absolutely no idea what was feasible and what was possible. But we set about to do this challenge. Now, this is not ski every ski lift, and this is not like ski every ski run. This is ski every single inch of every single run. So it's quite different because, for example, if you go up to the top of the Matterhorn Paradise, in order to get down to Testa Grigia in Italy, you need to ski the normal red run, and then you need to also ski the black run, even though the black run is only a little cut through, in order to cover everything off. And there's lots of runs where they have like little runoffs or different variations, and we skied every single one with no exception unless something was shut. We even included yellow runs. So we skied every black, every blue, every yellow, everything, every red, the whole lot in 2 days. And we completed it, and this is no joke, we completed it with 2 minutes to spare. If we hadn't have hit our last lift in time, we would have missed the run down from the very top of Riffelberg all the way back down into Furi, and we would not have completed the challenge and ended up in the Après area on the way back into Zermatt. So we made it with 2 minutes to spare. That is it. If we hadn't have caught that cable car, we would never have made it. We skied a total of around 150 to 160 kilometers in 2 days. Even the ski instructors that were with us that ski every day were exhausted. I was shattered beyond all belief, like absolutely, completely and utterly shattered. But we did complete it. We even took a helicopter ride from Zermatt all the way up to the top of the Matterhorn Paradise area, in fact on the Italian side, so not quite at the top, and skied down. There are videos of this all on my social media, and in fact I recorded the thing in its entirety. So over the next few months I'll be uploading a video of every single ski run in Zermatt as experienced by me. So if you want to check out those videos, check them out. I've just put another one up today. Huge amounts of content coming up on social media over the next sort of few months and over the summer as well. But yeah, that challenge It nearly killed me. I'm not even exaggerating. It was exhausting. We were running between lifts to try and catch up time. We didn't eat lunch. We barely stopped. We was living off gummy bears and little chewy sweets. It was an incredible challenge, and I'm super amazed that we achieved it. And I don't think anyone else has ever done it in the history of Zermatt. But would I do it again? Possibly not, because it was so exhausting and quite stressful as well, working out the best route to get the best coverage to make up the most time, that kind of stuff. It was really exhausting, but what an achievement, skiing every single slope in Zermatt in 2 days. It was incredible, and I have plans to do other ski resorts like that as well. But yeah, all in all, the challenge was amazing. It was great to hang out with Simon, Amelia, and Benji. We had the best time. We had the most laughs, and yeah, it was a fantastic time. Now, after that, I was on my way to St Moritz, which is my first ever time skiing in St Moritz. St Moritz is really made up of 2 main areas, Corvillia and Corvatsch. I had no idea what to expect, other than the fact that St Moritz is obviously known for its kind of glitz and glam and luxury and expensive kind of place, but I had no idea or expectations of the ski area, and that's what I'm most interested in. And the skiing in St Moritz is off the chart. It is incredible. Huge, big, wide open slopes, amazingly pisted, great lift infrastructure, sensational views because you're looking down on these huge frozen lakes, which is quite a unique kind of experience when you're skiing. I've only ever seen that in Zell before, and this is kind of better because there's just more of it, much more skiing, and it's an incredible place. Not for the faint-hearted in terms of pricing. If you want to stay actually in the town itself, food and shopping in that area obviously is ridiculously expensive, but you don't have to stay there. We stayed in a little area called Ponta Rosa, I think it's called, I think that's how you say it, and yeah, it's about a sort of 10-minute drive into the main area. Very easy to park, lots and lots of access to all of the slopes, and obviously if you want to go into the town and visit, you can, which I did lots of times. Again, I've put lots of videos up about that. And St Moritz, what a beautiful place it is. Yes, obviously it's full of ridiculously expensive shops, but you don't have to buy anything. You know, you can look around and just savor the kind of luxury experience that they provide. The hotels there, the restaurants, the infrastructure, the après, everything about St Moritz is super special and has become one of my favorite ski resorts that I've ever been to. Definitely in my top 5, maybe even in my top 3, maybe actually even in my top 2 with Zermatt. It's possible. It's that good there. We did so many different things. I flew a hand glider, not on my own, but you know, from the top down onto a frozen lake, landed on my skis, had them on the whole time. I did night skiing, which was a brand new experience for me, and loved every second of it, and it's really a unique experience that you should get all over. We made an absurd amount of content for everyone to kind of watch and find out about St Moritz. Went to some amazing restaurants. Yeah, I had the absolute best time in St Moritz and Zermatt. Loved it. What a trip. Just for an FYI, if you want to drive from Zermatt to St Moritz or back, it's about a 5 to 5.5 hour drive with a little stop, 6 with a longer stop. You can actually get a train from Zermatt to St Moritz, and it is well known for being the single most beautiful train journey in the world. But I think it's about 6 to 8 hours. But it is one of those luxury experiences where, you know, you get food and a beautiful table and chairs and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's another possibility. But yeah, wow, Zermatt, St Moritz with my friends, it was just the most amazing ski trip. I loved every second of it, and the challenge was unreal. In fact, in St Moritz, we got another helicopter up the Corvatsch side, so from the ground level all the way up to 3,300 meters, and then we skied down on first tracks because we were up there before the lifts were able to make it. So that was 2 lots of heli skiing in the space of one trip, one in Zermatt, one in St Moritz, both equally amazing, totally different experiences. Landing at the top of the Matterhorn paradise area versus landing at the top of Corvatsch in St Moritz, looking down on the lakes, just incredible. Flying around the Matterhorn, lapping that. And yeah, these are things that I highly recommend for people to do because they are such unique, amazing experiences that even if you only ever did it once, you know, you would store them in the memory banks forever and ever and ever, as I have. And wow, yeah, everything about it was just mind-blowingly amazing. Someone's just knocked at the front door, apologies for that. But yeah, absolutely incredible trips, and I highly recommend. Obviously, you know what I think about Zermatt, but yeah, St Moritz, what a place. And again, much like Zermatt, if you budget carefully and you pick the right places to stay and everything else, you can actually ski there and stay there without spending absurd amounts of money. So don't think it's completely unattainable, because it's definitely not. So yeah, that was that. And in fact, what I need to do right now is I need to go sort out this door, and I will come back and carry this podcast on as soon as I do it. Apologies, I am back. It was just a delivery. However, I probably won't be able to do much more of this because we've got lunch arriving very shortly, and I daren't miss that because I'm here with the wife and I'll be in big trouble. So that was kind of a very short coverage of what I've been up to in my last couple of ski trips. I'm going to do more detailed podcasts on all of this, but I need to break them down into individual ones. I just wanted to catch up with everyone and let everyone know what I've been up to, because I've had so many messages saying when's the next podcast. So this is just really just a brief kind of coverage of what I've been up to and what I'm going to be doing. Now, at the end of March, I have another ski trip lined up. I'm not quite sure exactly what that's going to be part of yet, but it probably will happen. But more importantly, on the 11th of April, I'm going to be heading over to a Stockley event in Engelberg in Switzerland, which I was invited to. And I'm going to be staying in the hotel with not only all the staff, the sponsors, but also the athletes, including Marco Odermatt himself. And I'm going to be going out for drinks with them the night before, and then doing a huge amount of coverage of the actual ski test and the event day itself, talking to the athletes, listening to the athletes, talking to all of the staff. It's going to be an amazing day. That is on the 11th of April, and I'll be out there for a couple of days around that as well, and working with Stockley on plans for next year, which I'm super, super excited about. And I can't wait to get back from that and tell you guys all about that trip. Obviously, it will all be covered on my social media. I'll be putting loads and loads of videos up about who I meet, about the new skis for next year, about the event itself, about the ski test. There's going to be so much coverage for that. And I'm also excited to ski Engelberg for the first time as well. I probably will only be there for maybe even 2 days, 3 days at the most. But it should be a super exciting trip, and especially to be able to tell you guys about everything happening in the Stockley world. So that is probably my highlight now for the rest of the season. My trip at the end of March, I'm hoping to probably pop over to Zermatt for a day or two as part of that and meet up with the crew from PDS. Hopefully, maybe even do a podcast with Simon and or Jason. We'll see. In fact, what I might do is try and catch up with Simon whilst I'm over there and do a podcast in person, and we can talk in detail about the trip to St Moritz and also the Zermatt ski every single ski slope in Zermatt challenge, which was ridiculous. And that would probably be a really good way actually to do the podcast, as if Simon and I did it together. So I will try and plan that for you guys as maybe the next couple of podcasts. If you've got any suggestions about what you would like me to do a podcast on, not just now, but in the future, over the summer, whatever the case may be, let me know. Please contact me on social media, or there are details in the description of how you can contact me. Thank you very much again for all of your support on the podcast, all the messages asking for the next one. It really does kind of spur me on to make them. I'm sorry this was a bit of a short-lived one, but I'm in such a short time frame today to get this done. I just really had to kind of squeeze it in, or I didn't know the next time I'd be able to do it. So hopefully that was a whirlwind what I've been up to and you enjoyed it. The door has rung, the food is here. I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you very, very much for watching or listening. Peace.